Hello and welcome to another exciting moment on television. From wherever you're joining us around the world, this is the University Duel 2025 Finals, the battle of the best brains. On Match Day 4, we saw a fierce intellectual competition between some prestigious institutions, Covenant University edging out their own counterparts. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the studio today a fabled gentleman who together we will be going through this journey in the search of the next Nigerian STEM champion. We have Seyi, Chinedu, and Ekene. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's great having you on the University Duel 2025. Let me begin from my very near left here, Seyi.
Yeah.
What are you looking out for today?
Well, I'm looking at how the students are going to display their intellect. I'll see how they can measure up under the pressure that, again, the closer to the final, the more the pressure is. So we'll see who can hold their nerves and how they interact with.
Good. The closer to the finals, the more the pressure. And today we are having two games. The first game is going to be a fierce battle between two institutions, the Lagos State University and, of course, the LAUTECH Akintola University of Technology. Chinedu, tell us a little about any of these institutions and then let's see how that can factor into what we are to expect today.
Okay, LAUTECH has been, which is the institution that I am supporting.
Yeah.
Founded in 1990, focusing on science field, especially in engineering and technology. They're known for their research output as well as the practical learnings that they use. And they also drive entrepreneurship. And we also have notable founders like Oluyomi Ojo, who is the founder of Printivo.
Yes.
And it's a notable person in the entrepreneurial industry. And it's good to know that, LAUTECH has been able to bring out great minds.
So let me get to you, Ekene, very quickly. Lassu.
It's a very fantastic school. I think the name precedes them. A well-ranked university in Nigeria. Very good sets of programs they have, ranging from engineering to medicine to law to even arts. And generally, I just think the school has a very great reputation. And just like how Chinedu mentioned some notable individuals, we also have people like Babatunde Raji Fashola, the ex-governor of Lagos State.
Governor of Lagos
exactly. We have the current IG of police, Kayode Egbetokun.
Oh,
passed through.
That is great.
Very, very fantastic.
The IG of police should be rooting for his
Exactly.
now.
Fantastic.
I mean, two great state universities. Seyi, let me hear from you. Where are you tipping this victory, if you were to?
Well, I'll be tipping towards the LAUTECH part of things,
Why LAUTECH for you too?
Well, I have a form of bias also, one of my co-founders is also from LAUTECH, so I'm voting for them.
Great. Okay, so it is 2 against 1. Chinedu is going with LAUTECH.
Yes.
Ekene is going with Lassu. So we have 2 against 1 now.
Yes.
If you were talking to any of these teams, knowing that they lost their first matches, and now this is an opportunity to gain whatever points you need to forge ahead, what should they be doing differently?
I think that the game is about technique.
Yeah.
That's what I think the game is about. I did an exam recently and I realized that, there are easier ways to be able to do these things. And if you can learn the technique and know how to answer the questions, you'll be able to learn.
The techniques are quite interesting and important. Seyi, let me get to you again very quickly. As we head in, Lassu, LAUTECH, what exactly will you be looking out for?
So I think my point of focus would be, I'll be looking out for how they're able to handle pressure, because pressure will determine how they react to all of these things. If you're carrying the baggage from the last loss that you had, then that means you're coming in with more pressure and you're letting that to, distort your entire orientation.
Yes. So I can hear that the arena is ready, the atmosphere is saturated, the quizmaster is standing by, contestants are taking their positions, and we are moving right now to the 10:01 arena where the game is about to get on the way. Do not go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be back after this.
In a class of 30 students, 10 prefer apples, 9 prefer oranges, and 11 prefer bananas. What's the median fruit preference?
25.
Tunji. How many ways can a committee of 5 members be formed from 6 men and 4 women if the committee has at least 1 woman? Ima?
252.
What is the arithmetic average of the absolute deviation of a series called?
Standard deviation.
Which company logo is called the swoosh?
Nike.
In the comic strip Garfield, what is the teddy bear's name? Josh. What young Canadian singer initially made waves through song snippets on Vine?
Justin Bieber.
Latif.
Justin Bieber.
How many ways can 2 items be chosen from a set of 8 with replacement?
64.
Asirat. How many ways can 4 books be arranged on a shelf?
24. 24.
A bakery sells 200 loaves of bread per day. If each loaf costs 15 naira, what is the annual revenue?
$3,650,000.
A chemist measures the pH levels of 5 samples of water. The pH levels are 7.2, 7.5, 7.8, 7.2, and 6.8. What is the mean pH value? Josh.
7.6.
At a bookstore, 40 customers bought either funny ones or mystery ones. If 25 customers bought the funny ones and 20 customers bought mystery ones and 10 customers bought both, how many customers didn't buy either?
15.
Steve.
15.
In how many different ways can the letters of the word played be arranged?
720.
If 2 fair 6-sided dice are rolled, what's the probability that the sum of the numbers rolled is less than 5? Josh.
4/6.
In a bag, there are 5 red balls and 3 green. If 2 balls are drawn without replacement, what's the probability they're both red? In a bag, there are 5 red balls and 3 green. If 2 balls are drawn without replacement, what's the probability they're both red?
20/56.
From a group of 2,400 participants, 1,150 preferred coffee, 700 preferred tea, 550 preferred juice. What's the median preference? How many different arrangements are possible for the letters in the word
720.
Latif?
720.
Who defined probability as the ratio of the number of favorable?
Simon Laplace.
Which sports brand is Michael Jordan synonymous with?
Nike.
Ima?
Nike.
Which connects Delft, Severe, Wedgwood, and Chelsea?
Brooklyn.
Latif. Who sang the theme song in the James Bond film For Your Eyes Only?
Michael Jackson.
A company's average monthly sales are 100,000 naira. What is the mean of their sales in 5 years? What is the Z-score of a data point that is 2 standard deviations above the mean?
2.
Latif.
2.
A company has a profit margin of 20%. If the total revenue is 400,000 naira, what is the profit in 1 year?
80,000.
A box contains 2 black and 3 white marbles. If 2 marbles are drawn without replacement, what is the percentage probability of getting a black marble followed by another black marble? Latif. In a survey of 150 participants, 80 people like dogs, 90 like cats. If 50 people like both dogs and cats, how many people don't like
30.
Calculate the mode of the following data: 28, 43, 36, 77.
28.
Among 40 books, the shortest has 100 pages, the longest has 500 pages. What's the median number of pages?
300. 300.
A bag contains 3 red, 2 white, and 4 green balls. What's the probability of drawing the second ball to be green? If the first ball drawn is red, the balls are replaced in the bag. A bag contains 3 red, 2 white, and 4 green balls. What's the probability of drawing the second ball to be green? If the first ball drawn is red, the balls are replaced in the bag. A box contains 4 red and 8 blue pens. If 2 pens are drawn without replacement, what's the probability of getting a red pen followed by a blue pen? In a survey of 1,000 people, 400 prefer red, 300 prefer blue, 300 prefer green. What's the median color preference?
350.
Latif.
350.
Given that 7 books are to be arranged on a shelf, in how many ways can it be arranged?
360.
The type of graph best suitable for showing relationship between 2 variables is
Line graph.
Who was the leader of the Soviet Union during the most of the Cold War? Ima?
Joseph Stalin.
Fatima is a Christian shrine pilgrimage place in which country? What animal does Darren Cross unsuccessfully shrink in Ant-Man?
Dog.
Latif.
Dog.
A student scored 80, 70, 90, 120 in 4 exams. What is their mean score?
90.
Steve.
90.
A data set has a mean of 12 and a standard deviation of 2. What is the Z-score of 14?
1.
Latif.
1.
What is the interquartile range of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
5.
Latif.
5.
The mean of a table is 20 and standard deviation is 5. Then
4.
Latif.
1 over 4.
The value of the mean is 10 and the median is 2 less than the mean. Find the mode.
28.
Latif.
28.
How many different committees of 5 can be formed from 6 men and 4 women on which exact 3 men and 2 women serve? Given that 18 combination R equals 18 combination R plus 2, then R combination 5 is what? If the mean is 11 and the median is 13, then the value of mode squared is what?
20.
Latif.
400.
If the mean is 11 and the median is 13, then the value of mode squared is what?
Root 17.
A bag contains 5 white, 4 black, 3 red. If 2 balls are drawn without replacement, what's the probability they're both white? A company has the following number of employees: 5, 15, 25, and 35. What's the second quartile?
10.
Latif.
10.
In a group of 28 people, 10 are early birds, 8 are night owls, 10 are in between. What's the median sleeping preference? How many 3-letter words can be formed out of the letters of the word corporation if repetition of letters is not allowed? Josh.
336.
What is the formula for calculating a Z-score? Josh.
Mean X minus mean over standard deviation. Data point. Damn.
Eric Killmonger Stevens also goes by what name in Black Panther? Which French art movement of the late 19th century is characterized by evoking motion rather than realism? What is the name of the hideous 80s tracksuits?
Body hug.
Latif.
Body hug.
What is the interquartile range of the numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10?
6.
Latif.
6.
What type of graph is best for showing the distribution of a single variable? That's Josh.
Line graph.
How many ways can you arrange 6 people in a line? Latif?
720.
If the probability that a bomb dropped from a place will strike the target is 70%, and if 10 bombs are dropped, find the variance. The standard deviation and coefficient of variation of data are 1.2 and 30 respectively. Find the value of the mean to the nearest whole number. How many ways can 4 prizes be given to 3 students if...
That was truly a battle for survival between Lassu and LAUTECH. Gentlemen, what did you make of this?
It was a very tough one. You could see that they came in all gun blazing. The pressure was very heavy. You could taste the pressure in the atmosphere.
I mean...
And everybody came with a point to prove. And so I like their tenacity. They really brought their A game.
Chinedu, there is one female in the midst of so many men, and we are all men seated here. So what would you be saying with these results now, if you were talking to the only female there, Nasira, the Lassu female contestant?
I will be telling her to be courageous.
Courageous.
She needs to be courageous to be able to speak up and speak what.
We discussed what exactly, caught your attention with their performances.
I mean, I really enjoyed the speed coming from Lassu. Latif and Tunji, did very well in that regard. I mean, obviously, some of the questions were scored wrong. That's why we can see some negative marks.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're
Pretty much tied.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing very well. I just hope they can keep up the momentum and, see it through.
You just have to keep going. We are going back to the arena. The quizmaster is standing by. Contestants are also standing by. It is at the 10:01 arena where the action will be taking place. Brain match between Lassu and LAUTECH. It is still the battle of the best brains here on University Duel 2025. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this brain match.
How many ways can 4 prizes be given to 3 students if each student is eligible for all the prizes?
4 combination 3.
The result of a just concluded math test of 6 students is recorded as follows: 34, 47, 98, 62, 21, 67. The mean of this data is what? If the value of mode is 14 and value of arithmetic mean is 5, then the value of median squared is what? What is the probability of a coin landing on the tail and the dice showing 5 when a coin is tossed and a
2
dice
over 5.
is thrown? In a survey of 200 students, 120 like physics, 80 like maths, 50 like both. How many students like neither physics nor mathematics?
150.
In a group of 24 participants, 8 are male, 9 are female, 7 are non-binary. What's the median gender identity?
10.
A school has 12 students. In how many ways can the teacher choose a committee of 4 students?
12 combination 4.
Which measure of dispersion is demonstrated in terms of needs of observation?
Range.
Which Gallagher brother left Oasis first?
Liam Gallagher.
What man won top rap song at the 2018 Billboard
Ed
Music Awards?
Sheeran.
In a man's closet, what are Balmorals?
Trousers.
A company's average monthly sales are 250,000 naira. What's the total sales in 40 years?
360 million.
What is the number of ways to choose 2 items from a set of 8?
28.
How many ways can you choose 3 pens? The house of fashion brand Chanel started in which year?
968.
Inadequate absorption of which metallic element leads to anemia?
Lead.
In January 2009, Kofi Annan and Bill Clinton headlined the This Day Award Festival of Ideas in which West African nation?
Ghana.
Which oil-rich desert kingdom?
Sahara.
What is the term given for 3 consecutive strikes in bowling?
Runs.
The famous music group The Rolling Stones was formed in which year?
1962.
How many times does the human heart beat in a minute?
500.
Whose reign was known as the Golden Age of Rome?
Julius Nepos.
What rapper made
Lil Wayne.
What does the acronym DC in DC Comics stand for?
Distress Comics.
Abdul Latif, who passed away recently, belongs to which sport?
Cricket. Yeah.
Which famous movie is the song Dancing in the Dark featured on as soundtrack?
Back to the Future.
In Spider-Man Homecoming, what is the name of the owl built into Peter's suit? The
Karen.
AI built.
Karen.
What is the national sport of Japan?
Sumo wrestling.
Which Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home suffers from back pain?
Andrew Garfield.
Which shark holds the title for being the largest living fish?
Great Whale. Great White.
The first modern Olympic held in Athens was in which year?
1890.
In which country was OPEC founded
Australia.
in 1960? In which city in the United States would you... Complete the series. Denim is to cotton as dash is to flax.
Linen.
Complete the series. Logoria is to work.
Wealth.
Money. What will be the middle letter if the letters of the word cat are
C.
arranged? A bat and a ball together cost 100.
10.
What is the value in Roman numerals, the product of 5 and 290? Fill in the gap below 11, 23, 35, 47, 59, 83, 95.
65.
Arrange the following order of increasing specificity: vertebrate, human, living being, mammal.
Vertebrate.
The Yellow Sea lies between which 2 countries?
Netherlands and Denmark.
Who was the first black tennis player to win a Wimbledon title? By the end of 2007,
Japan.
with the phenomenon of absorption of electromagnetic radiation by a molecule and the subsequent emission of low-energy photon is known as what?
Electromagnetism.
What letter will replace the question mark in the following series? K.
R.
Which is the odd one?
carrot.
If HOE is coded as IPF, what is old coded as?
ENF.
Complete the series. CDE is to HIJ, as dash is to KLM.
PQR.
Complete the series. Larceny is to theft, as kidnapping is to dash.
Abduction.
Complete the series. CIDA is to tree, as cider is to. What inventory level will keep the stock steady if the current stock is 300 units, increased by 50 units each period and decreased by 30 units each period?
320.
A shop sells t-shirts for $12 each and shorts for $18 each.
14.
A prism has a base area of 50 centimeters squared and a height of 10 centimeters.
5,000.
What is the volume of a cylindrical water tank that has a radius of 2 meters and a height of 7 meters?
28 pi.
What is 1 angstrom in meter?
10 power 10.
The IV rate in drops per minute of 600 ml to be given over a period of 6 hours with a drop factor of 15 is what?
240.
In a group of 6 people, how many different ways can you choose a committee of 4 members?
24.
If 5 times the number is subtracted from 18, the result is 12. What is the number?
6.
How many different 3-letter codes can be formed using the letters A, B, C, and
24.
repetition? A rocket is launched from the ground and its height above the ground is given by height T, 8T equals 8T squared plus 64T. How long does it take in seconds? A circle has a diameter of 14 cm. What is its circumference?
28 pi.
If the half-life of 100 grams of a radioactive element is 8 years, then how many grams will remain after 30 years?
12.5.
If the half-life of zinc is 2.4 minutes, if one has
33.3.
a vehicle travels 16,000 kilometers in 80 hours, what is it?
3.33.
A company's profits increase by 4% each year. If the current
1,620.
It was truly a battle for survival because this was a consequential match. But at the end, as they say, in the battle of 2 winners, the toughest winner emerges champion. And we can see from our screen, the scores speaks for themselves. Chinedu, let me get to you very quickly. You spoke to the only female team member from Lassu. Was that a great comeback for you?
I mean, I think it was a great comeback because she also became more courageous. A lot of questions that she answered towards the end of the segment gave Lassu the marks that...
I mean, what does that say to this space of science and technology?
Courage.
Women.
Courage.
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 Shei?
Like I've been saying since pressure, right? And so a lot of them are not even listening to the question before they answer, so they're not able to process quickly.
Okay.
And so there are many answers wrong than right. And so I think that is what is causing the great divide.
Okay, Ekene.
I mean, this round was awesome. I can just imagine how they are both, the both teams are feeling right now in terms of pressure because they both know that this is a must-win game.
Yeah.
So I understand how they're putting in their best to get in the right answers, but, you know, you need to make sure you get the right answers.
Incredible. Chinedu, before we get to the next game, because we have another game coming, just very quickly, let's face it, no matter the outcome of these matches, you know, for them to have gotten to this stage, they have all done well. So what would you be saying to each, you know, team moving forward? This is science and technology in practicality. Moving forward, what do you say?
That's a very interesting question. I think that we should be able to embrace failure and see it as a stepping stone to doing something better.
Yes.
Right. So it's not a definition of who they are as a people.
Yeah.
But it's also a learning point that they can learn from the things that they failed at and also develop new ways to be able to solve the problems.
Congratulations to Lassu and LAUTECH. Moving forward, we wish them all the best. We have a second game to get into. This is going to be another fierce battle between 2 strong institutions. We'll talk more about that. Stick around. It's the battle of the best brains on University Duel 2025. Don't go anywhere.
The game played was very fine. It went well. Looking compared to our first game where we lost by a margin of 40 points, we lost this by 8 points, which by me is a very great improvement. I feel we could have done better, but with these improvements that we have seen, I think we are still on the right track. And this might be a bit turbulent for us, but I would try as much as possible to encourage my team, we encourage one another, and then move forward.
Compared to our previous result, I would say that there's a slight improvement. I mean, we're still going to go against one more school, and that shows how much we are lacking. So we work on that, and also we now have a better understanding of how we work as a team. We now know our strengths, know our weakness better. I think next game we should anticipate.
Air-based waste classification, waste to wealth, and waste to energy system. The reason we came up with the project is that when we looked at the environment, there were a lot of waste dumps and things around the environment. They even they make some places, this is where you dump your waste, and it's not even in a bush, it's close to where we learn.
Wow.
So after we looked at it, we kind of examine the kind of waste that is there.
Yeah.
Since it's a school environment, it's mostly papers, food wraps, and waste food.
Yeah.
So we came up with a plan to use a centrifugal blower.
What is that?
Like a fan, but you can compress, regulate the airflow.
Okay.
And you choose the intensity of the airflow, so that when you work with it, we plan to control the intensity so that it can be able to push the light weights, because in those weights they are organic and inorganic waste. And in that particular scenario, the inorganic weight will be less dense.
Purple, where real estate, lifestyle, and convenience converge. Amplify your brand with our iconic LED screens, providing unparalleled visibility. Experience shopping, dining, and entertainment at Purple Maryland and Purple Milwaukee.
Let me get to you, Chinedu. With the results we have seen so far and preparing ourselves for the next, round of games, is failure absolute and is success total? Or is success absolute and is failure fatal?
Personally, I failed in life, and I've also succeeded in life.
Yeah.
And I've counted more successes than I have failed. But I've also been able to use failure as a stepping stone. And I think that the mindset, if you have a growth mindset, you can be able to leverage how can I be able to solve problems knowing that I've been able to hit the break.
Yes.
Right. So failure is not fatal. Failure is just an event that has happened to give you a learning point to be able to do something better.
Sheyi, as a country, what can we as a nation learn from this?
So, first, I'd like to say that a country is a reflection of its people.
Yes.
And so if we're not innovative in our thinking, then Nigeria will not be innovative in its production. And so, for us to be able to evolve and develop, this is something that, and I'm very happy that this kind of spotlight is being introduced, because, the STEM doesn't just sit in just the STEM courses. When you have a scientific mind, if you go through this kind of program, right, it does something to your mind, whether you are going into the field of art, you're going into the field of science, whatever you want to branch into. So yes, this is something that needs to be generally encouraged, and I think we're on the right path.
There you have it. A country cannot grow beyond its human capacity. Let's get into the second game for the day. We have the great one of Nigeria's, tertiary institutions, the University of UniLorin, will be taking on Bells University. These two universities are champions in their own right because they won their previous matches and they are coming head-to-head again. Sheyi, let me begin with you this time. What are your expectations and what are you looking out for?
Well, I'm looking at Bells becoming champions of this particular round. There's a certain stigma around private schools that, we're not bred very well. And so I want them to come and show the federal university. Yeah, I'm a private university boy. And so I want them to come and show the federal university that, we might have gone to private school, but we're built on very strong stuff.
Okay. Chinedu, UniLorin has a slogan. They say better by far. And Bells University has another unique slogan. They say only the best deserve to be in Bells. So this is truly a battle of the best of the best. What are you looking out for?
Honestly, I'm looking at them bringing their A game. just making an attempt, being brave, and attempting the question. But I think what I would like to see is that they show an understanding of the questions so that they can provide the right answers within the time frame that has been given to them.
UniLorin was even, put out by Professor Ishak Oloyede, who happens to be the JAM registrar and also a former vice chancellor of the school, as one of the most sought-after universities or institutions in the country for about 2 or 3 years consecutively. But they are going against one of the best universities also, Bells University. What are your expectations? What are you looking out for?
I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup, given that both Bells University and the other school, they've won their previous matches. I think that they would come out, show up, show out. Also similar to the game that we watched previously, they're going to put in their best, answer questions as quickly as possible, and I hope we see a lot of right answers in this.
All right.
matchup.
So, from our crystal ball predictions, UniLorin goes into this game with a 58% chance, while Bells University has 42%. But then, the next minutes and moments will be consequential to proving this. The atmosphere is charged. The arena is packed. The quizmaster is standing by. It's University Duel 2025, the battle of the best brains. And we are going to witness in a moment University of Ilorin take on Bells University. Do not go anywhere. Stick around. See you on the other side.
How many ways can you choose 3 pens from a set of 6?
20.
David.
20.
A coin is tossed up 4 times. The percentage probability that tails turn up in 3 cases is what? In a class of 50 students, 30 students like basketball, 25 like football.
5.
David.
5.
In the number of candidates that showed up for an interview for 6 consecutive days are as follows: 25, 27, 32, 21, Y, and 15. The average is 23. Find Y. The following are scores made on the math test: 18, 19, 90, 80. Mubarak.
90.
In how many ways can 4 men and 3 ladies be seated in a row so they can alternate? If 2 first 6-sided dice are rolled, David.
1/9.
A person can go from place P to Q by 7 different modes of transport, but is allowed to return to P by any mode other than the one used earlier. And how many different ways can he? From a group of 400 participants, 200 prefer reading, 100 prefer watching movies, 100 prefer outdoor activities. What's the median preference? How many different 4-digit numbers can be formed using the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 if repetition of digits is allowed and the number must be even? Dash are data. David.
Secondary data.
Dash is the busiest sea route in the world.
Not
Daniela.
Atlantic route. Not Atlantic route.
What plant does the Colorado beetle attack?
Sunflower. Sunflower.
Which 1986 film sees a robot called Number 5 escape from a secret research center? How many ways can 4 people be arranged in a line? David.
24.
What is the number of ways to choose 3 items from a set of 12? What is the number of ways?
220.
David.
220.
How many ways can you choose 2 items from a set of 40 if the odd order matters? The mean and standard deviation of a set of observations are 45 and 5 respectively. If a constant 5 is added to each observation, what is the coefficient of variation of the new set of observations? Find the second quartile or the median for the following data set: 7, 9, 13, 4, 18, 3, 9, 10, 15, 8, 2, 6, 9.
It's 9.
What is the median in the following numbers: 19, 21, 18, 17, 18, 22, 46?
22.
Mubarak.
22.
In a factory for 5 jobs, the members A, B, C, D, E are eligible. All jobs.
120.
David.
120.
In how many different ways can the letters of the word auction be arranged in a way that the vowels come together?
360.
Mubarak. If 2 first 6-sided, David.
3 over 3/36. Oh.
Coefficient of variations of two distributions are 55 and 65, and their standard deviations are 22 and 39 respectively. Their arithmetic means are respectively what? Among 30 participants, 12 like pizza, 9 burgers, 9 like pasta. What's the median preference?
Pizza.
Barack. If a lock requires a 3-digit code and no digit can be repeated, how many different codes are possible?
720.
David. The percentile and moment system are two groups of what?
Quartile measure.
In the movie, Edward Snowden was born in what state in the United States? Fruit that can absorb and reflect radio wave signals is?
Potato.
Daniela. What is the alias of T'Challa's sister in Black Panther? What is the alias, Daniela?
Nakia.
How many ways can two items be chosen?
15.
David. A box plot of text scores shows a median of 70 with the lower quartile at 60 and the upper quartile at 80. What percentage of the data lies between 60 and 80? A company has a 15% increase in sales if the original sales were 100,000.
115,000.
The standard deviation and mean of a data are 6.5 and 12.5 respectively. Find the coefficient of variation.
Just leave it.
If the mean and coefficient of variation of a data are 15 and 14 respectively, then find the value of standard deviation. A pizza place offers 5 different toppings. How many different pizzas with exactly 3 toppings can be made?
60.
Daniela. In a marathon with 1,000 participants, the 90th percentile for finishing time is 4 hours. How many participants finished, Mubarak?
10%.
A dice is thrown twice. What is the probability of getting
1/36. 1/36.
How many different committees can be formed from a group of 6 people?
720.
Mubarak. Given set A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and B, 3, 4, 5, 6, find the symmetric difference between A, B.
4.
Mubarak. There are 30 people in a group. If all shake hands with one another, how many handshakes are possible?
245.
Sex and the City increased sales of which designer shoe brand? Tonila.
Manalo Blanky.
What boy band was Justin Timberlake in? What stock is higher up on the chain of claim than common stock, but not as high as bonds? Which vibrant name refers to an adult male gorilla in a dominant position? A company's average monthly sales are 150,000 naira. What is their total sales in 20 years? How many combinations of 3 items can be chosen from 8 items?
56.
David.
56.
A store sells 300 units of a product per week. If the product costs 200 naira each, what is the total revenue in 2 years? In a survey of 80 individuals, 45 prefer tea, 35 prefer coffee, 15 prefer both.
15.
David.
15.
A producer said the average music he made in 7 months is 20. If the real data of songs is X, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, what's the value of X? If the mean of numbers 15X, 22, 9, and 10 is 21, what's the mean of 20, 22, 18, 11, and X? Mr. Oladapo has 6 friends. In how many ways can he invite one or more of them to a dinner?
Leave it. 720. 720.
A fair coin is tossed thrice. What is the probability of getting all 3 same outcomes?
1/10.
Daniela. A survey shows that 12 people like coffee, 18 like tea, 4 like both. How many people like either coffee or tea? Miriam. Let A and B be set such that A equals A, B, C, D, and B is C, D, E. Find the intersection.
D.
Shalom.
D.
In a lottery game, 2 numbers are drawn from a pool of 45. How many different combinations of numbers are possible?
189.
The first woman to win a gold medal in golf is who?
If anything on the statistics is to go by, it then means the bells of victory or success are ringing for Bells University. Sheyi, you were quite, optimistic about the chances for Bells University.
Yeah. And I'm excited. I'm happy that they're repping us very well.
Great.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that they've shown is precision. They are really going for questions that they really know the answers, and they're leaving the ones that are not.
Okay.
Yes, and so that's giving them a standout automatically.
So that's a part of it. The precision you talked about, identifying your strength and doubling down on it.
Yes.
Chinedu, what do you think about that?
I think that the Bells University they were more confident.
Confidence?
Yes.
Okay.
They were more confident in attempting the questions, and they were able to get some of that right. I think that UniLorin needs to step up their game to be able to do better.
Okay, what do you think would have caused that?
I think the pressure is actually really worse.
The pressure is getting worse.
Getting worse.
So, Ekene, what stood out for you?
Yeah, I think for Bells have been very, very confident and have been hitting the questions head on and getting the right answers. Like Sheyi said, they've been really precise. And that hasn't really been the story for UniLorin, because you can see that they've gotten quite a number of questions wrong, and that has been affecting their scores. So kudos to Bells. They answered not a lot of questions, but the questions they answered right.
Okay, go ahead.
I also think that, the more they feel a question, the pressure for them to answer more questions.
Exactly.
And so I think from a game of football, that the Bells are playing more, defense and allowing them to continue to attack while they do a counter-attack.
Okay, why they do a counter? Wonderful strategy. I mean, this is the table. This is where things stand at this point. Bells cleared, of course, the 4 quarters of the quick balls, but this does not mean they automatically win the match. So what will you be saying to them?
I'll tell them that they should keep on with the strategy. I think they are really doing well. They should keep on with the precision. They should not let the pressure come to them. And I think that they will do us proud after the round.
All right, there is a lot to still unpack. Everyone, hold your thoughts. It is the University Duel 2025 Battle of the Best Brains here from our 1001 studios.
A company's profits increase by 4% each year. If the current profit is $20,000, what will the profit be in 2 years?
21,632.
If the pH of a solution changes from 4 to 9, what is the percentage change?
200%.
A shirt costs $40 and the seller offers 12% discount on every 12th shirt purchase. How much?
944.8.
A headphone costs $400 and the seller offers a 10% discount on every 10 headphones purchased. How much is 30 headphones?
$1,020.
A boat travels upstream at 10 kilometers per hour and downstream at 15
5 kilometers per hour.
What is the value of Euler's numbers rounded up to 2 decimal places?
2.73.
What inequality represents a family's financial stability if the monthly income of a family is represented by A and the monthly expenses by E? The height of a cylinder is 120 centimeters and its radius is 12 cm. What is the ratio of its height to its diameter?
5:1.
If your salary increased from $60,000 to $105,000, what is the percentage increase in your salary?
25%.
If A varies as C and the value... In which city in the United States would you find a financial hub known as Wall Street?
Washington.
Which Middle Eastern country is the world leader in petroleum exports?
Kuwait.
Of the top 8 olive-producing nations, all bordering the Mediterranean, which 3 are on the African continent?
Nigeria.
What year did the miniskirt first become popular?
1964.
The human brain contains approximately how many neurons?
200 billion.
A feature that is a product of volcanicity.
Geosyncline.
The Adidas logo's mountain stripes represent what?
Jump.
In 2017, Luis Fonsi,
Despacito.
the player who holds the record for the most goals scored at
Pele.
a single tournament, who invented the compound bow used in archery,
Brandon Ellison.
which is the fictional city spared from the doomed world of Krypton in DC Comics
Andor.
Superman titles, which country has the most period?
Egypt.
The largest clothing company in the US is what?
TJX Companies.
Which musical based on Romeo and Juliet was a 60s Oscar
Es-
win? What did the Portuguese first arrive in the coastal territories of Benin in?
1964.
Which of Jupiter's 4 largest moons has a 2-letter name that starts with the letter I?
Io.
What African city is home to the headquarters of the United Nations Environment Program and Habitat?
Addis Ababa.
Which celestial body has dozens of moons? The first
Senator boards.
The heart of an atomic power plant.
Nuclear reactor.
Who was the first UK royal? The American gymnast.
Alice Reisman.
A company's sales have increased by 25% in the past year. What is the actual value if the initial sales were 420,000 naira? A company has a mean sale of 100 units a day. What is the probability of rolling a 6 on a fair die, given that the roll is
1/6.
If the 60th percentile for test scores is 75, determine the mean of the first 8 multiples of 2.
16.
Calculate the mean grade of a class of 50 students. The grades are as follows. 10 students scored 35, 20 scored 10, 20 scored 15. What is the mean grade? From a group of 9 friends, 4 friends have to be selected. In how many ways can the
84.
A computer company recorded the sales made in a week as follows. 4, 5, 3, 2, 400. If 2 fair coins are flipped, what is the probability of getting the same result on both flips?
1/4.
In a group of 200 students, 150 play soccer, 100 play
200.
basketball. If you roll 2 fair 6-sided dice, what is the probability that the sum is 5 or lower?
5/36.
Given that all vowel letters are always kept together,
720.
what singer has a Billboard #1 hit in each of the last 4 decades? Sweet, what is...
New York Stock Exchange.
With
Body and Destiny.
Excuse me. Complete the series. Cedar is to tree as tiger is to...
Pine.
Complete the series. Turnover is to pastry as dash is to heliotrope.
Angel.
Introducing a boy, a girl says he's the son of the daughter of the father of my uncle. How?
Nephew.
Boy? Choose the analogous pair that has the same relationship as the original pair of words. Restaurant is to menu.
Library catalog.
Which business model involves selling products or services directly to consumers?
B2B.
The phrase gut feeling means
Logical
what?
feeling.
Bark is related to dog in the same way that dash is related to deer.
Blitz.
In 1969, the first moon landing was announced to the world with the words, "The dash has landed."
The moon has landed.
The first African diaspora Obama inaugural ball was headlined by which Beninese singer, founder, and Batonga
Awilo Logomba.
2/3 of the watermelons produced worldwide are currently grown in which people republic? Confederation Cup is associated with
Football.
which game?
Football.
Introducing Deborah, Amara said she's the daughter of the only sister of my father.
Sister.
Which one does not belong?
Numerate.
If pin is coded as QJO, how is joy coded? Complete the series. Mathematics is to 11 as economy is to dash.
14.
Complete the series. Blade is to knife as dash is to gun.
Bells University against the University of UniLorin. You can see the scores right there on your screen, 24-12. Talk about being disciplined, dedicated, determined with the determination to be the best. Sheyi, what stood out for you?
Well, again, the bells, their precision was very, very, especially the guy that took the second to the last round. You know, he was really precise, and you know, I think that stood out for them properly.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, fantastic rounds from both teams. I really enjoyed the second to last round. I think his name was Shalom. He did very well. He came out confident, answered questions. I think he maybe just intimidated his opponent a little bit, and you know that probably gave him the upper hand during that round.
Well, as you they play, they show as Nigerians go talker, bells would not just let go.
Yeah.
Sheyi, how does science come to you?
Well, as an engineer, engineering is the application of science. And so everything that relates with you and your world is science. And so you look at everyday challenges, you look at everyday problems, and your ability. So what science does for you is the ability to think, to provide a solution for such a situation.
Okay.
And so that's where we stand out, and that's how we've been able to apply science.
Chinedu,
yes.
What does this course from data analytics and applied mathematics tell you when it comes to applying them in your daily activities?
So I think in understanding problems that businesses and organizations face, you want to be objective about it. And data comes in place to allow you to be objective with the decisions that you want to make. So in my typical day at work, I'm able to leverage the data that I'm getting, either it's quantitative or qualitative data, to be able to make recommendations for solutions that are being implemented by teams.
Great. Ekene?
I think it has. We use, as a scientist, as I would like to call it, because we're all in the STEM field, we use data almost every day, even in our different lines of work, right? And yeah, it's very, very important in how we analyze that data, process that data, and just make meaningful information of that data. So yes, mathematics and everything that comes with it is really, really helpful in how we translate the data that we receive and interpret it and use it for whatever we need to use it for.
Sheyi, you had talked about innovation vis-a-vis nation building. Where does Nigeria move from here? How do we key into this and begin to change the narrative for the future in terms of revolutionizing technology industry?
I think so. The best way is for the country itself to begin to create an enabling environment, and it starts with everybody. For example, this is a platform that allows that to grow, and then creating platforms where these kind of things are celebrated would spur and catalyze this kind of this innovative thinking.
First thing I want to say is glory be to God, because we are so my team and I, we are really happy God came through for us this second round again, and we look forward to the third round. So thank you to my teammates Shalom and David.
At some point I was shaking are we going to do this? Are we going to get this win? Well, God came through. And I wanted to improve on my applied maths, so at least I'll get the point there this time.
We still have to work on a lot of things, and as you can see from the game, our weak point was actually data analysis, and I actually take the fault for that.
We have just one game left, and we just hope for the best outcome from the last game.
If you are not reading science or doing something like this, what else would you be doing?
I mean, that's a very interesting question. I like to enjoy myself, really. I like to play games.
Enjoyment could mean maybe solving more applied mathematics questions. Is that how you enjoy?
Well, not 50-50, yeah. If you could say that sometimes, and then I find myself doing
Sheyi, you're a computer scientist. What are we looking out for you?
Well, this is what I do every day of my life. I'm constantly innovating, set up to startups.
Oh.
And so, yes, you see more innovations coming out from someone like me. And I like to encourage every other person that is around me. See, you don't have to start, you don't have to be a startup to innovate. Even in your workspace, in the sphere of life, you can innovate, you can be an entrepreneur, you always seek out a need and always wanting to meet that need. That is one way to apply your knowledge. I also want to add, like, when Ekene was talking, in life, everybody's always asking us, since I went to school, they always tell you to find X, I never saw X.
Yeah, you never saw X.
Yeah, so you're going to school to go and find X is not teaching you to actually find for X.
Yeah.
That's in life, there's always an X. And so you always need to figure out how to get to that X.
Have you found X, Sheyi?
In some ways, yes. In some ways.
Gentlemen, it's just been such an absolute pleasure having you here. And I mean, we wish ourselves all the best, and we hope that these young leaders will, take the lessons from here, forge ahead and become change makers that they truly are, because all of them are winners in their own rights.
Absolutely.
Hurry now to your social media platforms. Tweet at us, comment, like, share, be a part of this epoch-making event as we find Nigeria's next university STEM champion. Also remember that these institutions will engage in a smart challenge, which will involve identifying a problem in their respective communities and coming up with solutions that are tailor-made to solving those problems. They will pitch those solutions to judges and all of us here, including you, the viewers, in an attempt to earn seed funding for their ideas. It is something you do not want to miss. Always remember that if you can think it, you can have it. I'm Randy Peter Aka, and until I come your way again, always remember to do the best you can for all the people you can, anywhere you can, for as long as you can. I won't sign off until I tell you in Wazobia, as we say we are Nigerians. Wazobia, in Yoruba, Odaro, Odabo. In Igbo, Anya Sioma Katifu. In Hausa, Si Gobe. See you on the next match day.